John Davis, co-founder of BitSummit, Black Sheep Consulting. He does so many things. He's on the line. What's up?
What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
How are you
What's
doing,
going
man?
on? Man, I'm hanging in there, man. I had to get up pretty early. It's like 6 a.m. in Tokyo right now. So I was fortunate. My daughter was like, she woke me up at 4. She was like, "Daddy, you have a meeting at 5."
Wow. That's crazy.
She's your assistant already.
Jeez.
I know, right?
That's cool.
How you guys
no,
doing?
but it's really. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay, so like I think we'll have to just maybe leave a pregnant pause.
Okay, we'll have to be like the that guy on the scene at the for whenever he's reporting, from overseas, is just waiting, just sitting there.
That's what it's like. I have to have my
just sitting there for a second.
Yeah, just like this. Okay, cool. Yeah. But no, it's awesome to have you on board. I've been trying to have you like on one of the Black Voices of Gaming for a minute, but then I cut, like the last time I caught COVID right when we were supposed to do a stream, which was unfortunate, but it's great to have you here. I mean, you're so influential in the space with BitSummit, your work at previous convention stuff. I know I'm blowing you up, but you have to toot your own horn a little bit. Can you just talk about like the thing, because you have Black Sheep Consulting, and you're producing, you're working on a lot of different games with a lot of folks, and also it's not easy to get in line with and in tune with folks, Japanese developers and publishers. Like that's something you have to really work your way up to. So can you talk a little bit about your journey?
Yeah. So my kind of origin story was, I came out to Japan to teach English, and with under the auspices that I would kind of freelance, in journalism, and that was right before, that was like around 2004, so it was a few years before the whole kind of world kind of crashed with the Great Recession, and I was just here kind of freelancing a little bit for IGN, for Famitsu and stuff, met some nice people, and kind of slowly worked my way through journalism into helping out game devs here and helping out publishers here and things like that, which led to me working at like Grasshopper Manufacturer, working at Q Games, and at Q Games I worked with James Milkey to start BitSummit.
Nice. That's dope. Like, how did you start? Because when we first met, I did not know that you originally started with James, and I love James too. Like he's gonna be here in the city. I think he's gonna be DJing and playing music, which is crazy. How did you guys like come together and form BitSummit?
Well, we kind of ran in the same circle. I mean, the foreigners that work in games here in Japan is very small, small group of us, and we had a lot of friends in common, and right after I joined Q Games, we went out for lunch, and he was like, "Hey, I'm leaving Q Entertainment to come work at Q Games," and the two of us were there, and we had just finished, I think, shipping a Pixel Jump 4 AM, and we had some free time, and he was like, "Hey, let's do a convention," and I was kind of like, "What are you talking about? Like, what do you want to do?" And he's like, "I want to do something a little bit different than your typical stuff. I'm gonna like do something that really highlights Japanese indies here." And yeah, we got together with Tomi-san, one of the producers at Q, and just kind of started brainstorming and had our first event like maybe 6 months after that. We had about 200 people, total. It was dope though, because Famitsu came out, we had IGN came out. We had a lot of people from overseas that showed us love, thanks to the strength of Q and Milky, and it was really kind of the springboard to making the show a lot bigger, and it's just every year it's been just like you guys. This is our 10th year anniversary here for BitSummit, so it's kind of been a blessing. I didn't imagine it would happen.
It's definitely
like this.
It's crazy. It's like, going to BitSummit is definitely a destination event. that everyone should go to, and it's just like I love going. It sucks the 2 years that we couldn't do anything or we couldn't go out because I missed going out there. It's like in Kyoto. It's just gorgeous. So definitely props on that. I know you were writing some notes, so you want to jump in?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I want to know is like, how do you find other devs of color community? Obviously, in Japan, there's not, like a plethora of Black people there. So, so how are you connecting with folks?
It's like I said, very small community. So anybody that works in game dev here, a dev of color here, we'll run into each other. Unfortunately, I've been stuck in this office for like the past 2 years, and not really able to like get out and press the flesh and kiss the babies, to really get to know people. But you kind of just run into the same folks at events. People come to BitSummit, they go to Tokyo Indies, they go to Kyoto Indies, these like kind of small community events, and you see somebody and you just give them the nod, the heads up, and then and try to build from there. My homie that I've known for forever, Scott Burford, Scott Popular is his kind of his moniker, but he started in just developing his own game, kind of like in a very small sense, and so you just kind of run into these people. It's not something that it's something you kind of actively have to do. There's also Facebook groups, things like that, but yeah, there's definitely a very small community here of game devs of color.
Yeah, it seems to be the theme with a lot of the developers we talk to is that you have to build community, you have to connect with people, you have to make an effort to like sort of like cultivate that network. And I think people that are successful are the ones who are actually actively engaging with people, and not that you can't not be successful not doing that, but it just seems to like be a catalyst for it. One of the other things I wanted to like know about is like, I know the gaming scene is different in Japan, and I heard that you guys, there's still like straight up coin operated stuff. Like arcades don't exist here anymore. Like they just don't exist in the States. Is that still a thing there?
Game centers, arcades are not really a thing anymore. Like when I got here 18 years ago, you could still go down to the corner and find game centers, right? Like arcades, and I go there and play Marvel vs. Capcom and things like that. But now they're just a really a few handful of places that are kind of really FGC kind of oriented, fighting game community oriented. So you have a spot in Shibuya, you have a spot in Ikebukuro or whatnot, where people who are like are in the scene who want to fight other people are going to be there. Otherwise, it's just your regular like kind of like photo booth stuff, your
claws.
like the more claws, gachapons. I don't know if Dave and Buster's is still a thing in the States, but more event spaces like that. Yeah,
barely.
Than arcades anymore. I mean, worldwide, and that's kind of the thing for BitSummit this year is our tagline is Crossroads, is that everything is really shifted in the past. I mean, obviously in the past 10, 20 years, and then this year there's been just like this kind of sea change for the way that people interact and through games. So you don't have a lot of these physical spaces. Everybody has moved online. And it can be disconcerting, for, old heads like me, like what are we supposed to do? Where do we go? So we want to kind of like be an avenue for the Japanese devs here, and also the devs that, expat devs like myself, to be able to navigate that space, that online space, but also be able to be, in an event physically, because I think it's important to be able to talk to people and really present your personality in a way that's not just a screen name. So we had to there's this little crossroads here right now that's going on in games and in I guess the world in general, that we're all trying to navigate.
Yes, that's interesting because, like, just GDC, no one was coming to GDC, and then all of a sudden, it like trickled down. It became this domino effect. Now everybody's coming to GDC because they just want to see people in person, which is just an interesting phenomenon. And actually, like what you're talking about is like that's what when I would go to Akihabara. I know I'm butchering that,
Akihabara.
but like every Akihabara, yeah. See, I'm like sounding like it's like it's terrible, Middle Eastern or some shit. It's terrible. But I would always want to go to Electric City. That's my way of not butchering it anymore. And just play games against people, and like just because I'm a big fighting game fan, obviously. And just even in Tokyo, like the Taito Game Center and the Sega Game Center, and from what I heard, a lot of those have been shutting down. But that was like a really good treat because they don't have those in-person things here anymore. Can you talk a little bit about like about Black Sheep and what you've been? Because I would see you at PAX and you're like representing all of these different companies. You're doing production. Can you talk about kind of like what you've been doing in the in the game industry?
Well, I left Q in I think 2015 maybe, and because I was living in Tokyo and working for them remotely, and I left Q to work with the Mega Booth for a while. And when I started working with the Mega Booth, it just kind of became more of a consulting thing where I was helping them with all of their stuff in Asia, Indie Mega Booth, by the way, and from there, it just kind of naturally happened, where I was helping other Japanese devs that were trying to get their games overseas, and then also helping any devs from overseas that were trying to get their games into Japan. Just kind of like introducing people to the right folks, working with publishers, working with developers. Through BitSummit as well, I was going to different countries, through our partnerships with other events, like the Mix or Indiecade or Big in Brazil, just all these different places. So it kind of evolved naturally. Like if you go and like look online for like Black Sheep or something like that, for my company, like I don't have a web page or anything like that. I'm pretty low key. I just try to work with folks that work in projects that I like, and I've been fortunate enough to survive off of that.
No, I feel that for sure. It's actually very similar to like the stuff that we're doing with Black Voice and Gaming and the Mix. Is like you just start to connect people to different places just naturally, and like not really looking for a paycheck, just to help out the community, at large. And then it just so happens you get fit in, you start to have these relationships, kind of like us connecting and like, hey, let's do this. Maybe we could do this. Maybe we could do business together. And it becomes this natural thing because, you're so passionate about this space that it just naturally evolves to you're like making a living, living.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, it's super. I'm super fortunate, super blessed about it. Like when I was going to mix events, at PAX and GDC, and linked up with you. I remember we had lunch. We were like, all right, let's do something. And then like a year passed, and then I think I came out to E3 one year, and then like you gave me a big like shout out when you guys were like finishing the show. You're like, yeah, we're gonna do something at BitSummit.
I put you on blast.
I was like, oh, sweet, yeah, all right. And then we had you guys out. So it just kind of you have to work with the people that are around you, people that you feel like are good folks, and kind of I don't know, it just evolves, right? It's I think we're all very fortunate to be working in this space and be working with something that we obviously have a passion for and love doing, and yeah, hopefully it continues. I mean, we survived a pandemic, so
yeah, we made it. I mean, I think that one of the things that's super great about when we talk about community and building that community is the connections that Justin has built with the Black Voices in Gaming. Like all of these developers that we feature on this program are connecting with each other, and I think that it's building this really organic community that is really benefiting everybody.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
ran into Dez and I think I met Dez in like Berlin, like a few years ago. You know, like you just run into people in like
It's
the oddest
crazy.
places. You know, um, but you got to nurture those connections. That would if I had any advice for any game devs of of color or otherwise, like you have to kind of keep nurturing your connections with people, and don't burn bridges. You know, just cherish the relationship that you build, because they will guide you in the future. You know, that's my old man knowledge.
That's yeah. No, that's a good way to take it out. I was actually I was about to ask you that question, and I think it's really funny is because we were kind of talking ish like a couple weeks ago about some folks that we've talked with before, and we're like, damn, I'm just trying to like talk to you or be cool with you, and then you're like burning this bridge for no reason. But it's like it kind of it creates this trajectory of like, now I don't want to mess with these certain people. So, and I think also as black folks, we got to really make sure our reputation is sterling, It's like, see, you can't
Yeah,
do that. You
yeah.
got to maneuver in such a way. This is interesting. But like, how can we find out more about you, more about BitSummit and the things that you're doing?
I guess the best way would just be to go to bitsummit.org. For all game devs, submissions are now open. They close on April 15th. And the show is going to be August 5th through the 7th of this year. And it's open to the public this year, so we're super happy about that. We're going to have one day of just biz dev stuff, and then one day of public, where we're hoping and praying that there's not a big, another big Omicron surge, or not Omicron, but COVID surge, and that will kill travel again. We want to have the mix out, of course, and as many game devs as possible, especially game devs of color. I want to, say what's up to my people. So come out, enjoy the show,
for sure.
have some drinks by the river after the show, and make some friends.
Yes, we hope to come out soon. But thanks so much, John. It was
Thank you.
dope. So appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right.